The desert sun scorched the sand, relentless and unforgiving, baking the earth beneath its fiery gaze. The air shimmered, distorting the horizon with waves of heat, making the world seem to ripple and blur. Inside the M1A2 Abrams, Sergeant Jake Sledge Riley wiped sweat from his brow, the metal walls around him radiating the desert's intensity. He glanced at his crew, Miller, the steady gunner with nerves of steel, and Diaz, the calm driver whose hands never trembled, even under pressure. They were more than a crew, they were a family, bound by trust, shared hardship, and a sense of duty that ran deeper than blood. Outside, engines rumbled, a symphony of American steel ready for battle, each machine a testament to power and resolve. This was the moment they'd trained for, not for glory, but to protect each other, to stand shoulder to shoulder when it mattered most. Their mission: push through a contested valley and secure a strategic town, knowing the enemy was dug in, waiting, and determined to hold their ground. Sledge keyed his comms. "All right, Vipers, we stick together, no one gets left behind." Replies echoed, "Hoo-ah!" The words were more than a ritual, they were a promise. High above, Lieutenant Maya Eagle Vance, callsign Viper Lead, flew her F-15E, her squadron in tight formation, engines roaring as they cut through the sky. Her job: keep the tanks safe, be their eyes and guardian angel, watching for threats invisible from the ground. The bond between air and ground was unspoken but absolute, forged in countless missions and mutual respect. They were two halves of the same fist, ready to strike in perfect unison, each relying on the other for survival. Every person there had a reason to fight, and a reason to come home. Letters from loved ones, photos tucked into pockets, silent prayers whispered in the quiet moments. They wore the uniform as a promise, to protect the innocent, to stand for what's right, and to honor those who came before them. As the final command to advance came through, a quiet resolve settled over them, each soldier steeling themselves for what lay ahead. They were patriots, about to show the world what that meant, their courage shining brighter than the morning sun. The engines roared to life, and the column began to move, treads grinding over sand, dust rising in their wake. Sledge's crew checked their gear, nerves taut but ready, every movement practiced and precise, every second counting down to the unknown. Maya's squadron soared overhead, scanning for threats, their presence a silent reassurance to those below. The desert was silent, but tension crackled in the air, every sense heightened, every instinct alert. Each soldier knew the risks, but none hesitated. They drew strength from each other, from their training, and from the mission ahead. The mission was clear, the stakes higher than ever, and every detail mattered as they prepared to make history. They moved forward, united by purpose, hearts pounding, eyes fixed on the horizon where fate awaited. The storm was about to break, and they would meet it head-on, together. The advance began, engines rumbling in the cool dawn as the desert stretched endlessly ahead. The rising sun cast long shadows over the sand, painting the battlefield in gold and crimson. Diaz pushed the Abrams forward, feeling the weight of responsibility as the lead tank cut a path through the dunes. Every movement was deliberate, every order crisp. The armored column snaked toward the valley, steel giants moving in perfect formation, their tracks carving deep scars into the earth. Sledge scanned the horizon, every sense on edge. The silence was unnerving, too quiet. The crew felt the tension, waiting for the first sign of danger. He murmured into the comms, "Stay sharp, they're here." Suddenly the world exploded. An enemy shell slammed into the lead tank, shattering the calm in an instant. "Contact! Enemy armor! 2 o'clock!" Sledge barked. "Miller, you see him?" "On it, Sarge!" Miller replied, swinging the turret toward the threat, adrenaline surging through the crew. The Abrams fired, its cannon roaring, a direct hit on the enemy tank. "Scratch one bogey!" Diaz cheered, but more enemy tanks appeared, their guns blazing, filling the air with chaos and fire. The valley became a deadly shooting gallery. Sledge ordered, "Pop smoke! Cover 3!" White smoke billowed, obscuring the tanks as another Abrams shielded the damaged vehicle, risking everything to protect their own. Teamwork was everything. No one got left behind. Undercover, crews worked to help their stricken comrades, hands steady even as shells landed nearby. The promise was clear: protect each other at all costs. The battle had begun with brutal violence. The enemy was skilled, determined to hold their ground, and every inch was contested. The Americans pressed on, adapting, fighting as one. Every move was a test of trust and training. The smoke thickened, hiding friend and foe alike, turning the battlefield into a maze of uncertainty. But the resolve of Sledge's crew never wavered. They pushed forward, determined to break through. The fight for the valley was on, and they would not back down, no matter the cost. Sledge called for air support, his voice tense, urgency crackling through the static. "Viper lead, we're pinned down!" Bullets snapped overhead as his squad huddled behind shattered concrete. High above, Maya banked her F-15E, her squadron ready to strike at a moment's notice. "Sky scythes, weapons hot, let's clear a path," she commanded. her voice steady despite the chaos below. The jets dove, targeting enemy anti-aircraft guns, spitting tracers skyward, weaving through a deadly web of fire. Maya locked on, released a laser-guided bomb, and pulled up hard, heart pounding as the ground erupted below. The explosion silenced the threat. Her wingman mirrored her move, sending another shockwave through enemy lines. "Sledge, this is Viper Lead. Mark your friendlies with IR strobes. We're coming in again." On the ground, tanks activated their markers. Coordination was everything in the chaos of battle. Maya swooped in again, unleashing a barrage of rockets on enemy tanks, pinning Sledge's platoon, her jet roaring low. The enemy armor erupted in flames, the pressure eased as the battlefield shifted in their favor. "Viper Lead, you're a sight for sore eyes. Ridge is clear," Sledge radioed, relief flooding his voice. "Just doing our job," Maya replied. "Keep pushing." Her calm steadied the troops below. The air and ground teams fought as one, each move synchronized, every second a dance of survival and trust. The path was open, but the danger was far from over. Every step forward was hard-won. The Americans pressed their advantage, momentum building as hope flickered in their eyes. Every second counted in the chaos below, the air thick with smoke and adrenaline. The jets circled, ready for another strike, engines rumbling like distant thunder. Sledge's crew advanced, hope rekindled, their spirits lifted by the roar of friendly jets overhead. The tide was turning, but the battle raged on, every moment a test of courage and resolve. The Eagles had joined the fight, and the enemy would never forget their fury. With the ridge clear, the column pushed deeper into the valley, danger lurking at every turn. Sledge scanned the town ahead, too quiet, a classic ambush. Suddenly, an enemy helicopter burst from behind a hill, launching a missile. "Missile! Incoming!" Sledge shouted as the warhead slammed into their Abrams. The tanks shuddered, alarms blaring, but the armor held. "Everyone okay?" Sledge demanded. "Gunner's good? Driver's good?" came the replies, shaken but alive. The Abrams was damaged, main gun down, smoke pouring from the engine. The helicopter circled for another attack. Just then, Badger 1, a Bradley, roared up, its chain gun blazing. The gunship broke off, riddled with holes. Badger 1 shielded the Abrams, its crew risking everything. "We'll cover you, Sledge. Get your bird fixed." It was a selfless act, one vehicle shielding another. The promise was kept, no one left behind. The battle raged, but their bond only grew stronger. They would fight and survive together. While Diaz and Miller worked to revive the Abrams, Sledge coordinated the assault. The town loomed ahead. They couldn't stop now. Sledge ordered, "Badger 1, stay with us. All units push forward." Tanks and Bradleys surged, guns blazing, laying down suppressive fire. Infantry dismounted, moving alongside armor, clearing buildings room by room. The tanks destroyed fortified positions. Infantry flushed out hidden threats. Enemy RPG, second floor, an infantry leader called. An Abrams fired, obliterating the threat. Miller got the main gun working. "Sarge, we're back in the fight. Good work. Diaz, get us moving," Sledge replied. The Abrams lurched forward, rejoining the battle. They fought as one, trust their greatest weapon. Battered but unbroken, they pressed on. The mission was within reach. The final push had begun. As the Americans neared the town square, enemy resistance stiffened. Suddenly, a modern enemy tank rolled into view, a true heavyweight. Its first shot destroyed a Bradley, shifting the battle's momentum. Sledge knew it was his fight. "All units, that heavy tank is mine." Diaz maneuvered for a flank, but the enemy commander was skilled, always facing them. Miller, frustrated, waited for an opening. Sledge called Maya Viper Lead, need a distraction. "Copy that, Sledge," Maya replied, her F-15E swooping low, dropping flares. The enemy tank turned its turret skyward, just enough. "Now Miller!" Sledge yelled. The Abrams fired, the sabot round striking the tank's side. The enemy tank erupted in flames, silenced for good. The hunter had become the hunted. The greatest threat was gone. The Americans surged forward, momentum restored. The duel was over, but the fight continued. Sledge's crew had proven their mettle. The path to victory was open. The town was within their grasp. With the enemy's ace destroyed, resistance crumbled. The Americans pressed into the square, victory in sight, but a hidden anti-tank team fired, striking Badger 1. The Bradley erupted in flames, a devastating loss. Sledge, grief-stricken, ordered, "All units level that building." Every gun opened fire, reducing the enemy position to rubble. Silence fell. The battle was over. The town was theirs, but the cost was high. The burning Bradley stood as a painful reminder. Victory had come, but at a heavy price. As dusk settled, the Americans secured the battered town, tending to wounded and recovering vehicles. Sledge stood by his scarred Abrams, watching the flag wave against the smoky sky. Maya flew a final pass overhead, surveying the aftermath. Heroes moved among the ruins, their courage and sacrifice evident. Sledge found the surviving crew of Badger 1, offering quiet gratitude. "You saved us. "Your crew were heroes," he said simply. In that moment the true meaning of their bond was clear. Patriotism was more than words. It was action, sacrifice, and resolve. It was the pilot risking her life for the soldier, and the soldier shielding his comrades. No matter how dark the night, they would be the light for each other. Sledge, Maya, and their brothers in arms had shown what it meant to be patriots. They fought for love of what they left behind, not hatred of what was ahead. In victory, they honored the fallen, proving courage and teamwork would always triumph. The sun set on heroes, their story etched in the desert sands.